what's going on, people? So Masvidal, Jorge Masvidal, has posted on Instagram basically saying that the court case between him and Colby Covington is over now. He said he got away with it. I think he's got off on time served. We're going to go through an article to find out the full facts of everything that's went on today and recap on a little bit what's been going on in the past. I have to say this before we read into this article. I know for a fact that this beef started off fake. I think a lot of you know that too. And it progressed and it got real because of Colby's mouth. Now, what I don't get is, regardless of what we read today, regardless of if you're a Colby Covington fan or Jorge Masvidal fan, we can establish that it's pretty sad what we're seeing here, but it's even more sad when we have a situation like this and we have Colby Covington who's just basically been outed as a rat. You know, I understand that Masvidal done a job on him, right? But Colby Covington would have had to, I don't know what it's like in America. I don't know if the police can take it out of the person's hands and go for their own, prosecution or whatnot. I don't know the laws. I know over here, if there's an attack, the person has to sort of give evidence, and that goes to court, and then that evidence is piled together with the other person's defense, and then there's a trial, and then there's a decision made. So I don't know the full facts about the whole thing, but I'm assuming Colby Covington has given evidence against Jorge Masvidal, which in my opinion, if you look at the whole situation, you had Colby Covington saying a lot of bad things about his kids, Jorge Masvidal's kids, his wife, being really horrible and nasty just for a bit of clout, just for a bit of online clout to sell fights. There was that unanimous decision win that Colby got. And then I think it was like a couple of days later or a week later, or maybe it was like a couple of weeks later, I can't remember the time frame, Jorge Masvidal seen Colby Covington in a vicinity and absolutely done a job on him. Look, where I'm from, if you're going to run your mouth and then that catches up on you, you don't go squealing to the cops, because you're always going to be known as a squealer, as a tout, as a grass. In America, that's a snitch, especially if you're a UFC caliber and, you guys can fight. You can fight it out. You can go to a gym. You can fight it out. You can fight it out anywhere. There was a fight. But Jorge, to me, is the type of guy, if you want to say something, well, it's going to catch up with you sooner or later. Look at Leon Edwards. I disagreed with that. I was actually on the side of Leon Edwards in regards to Colby Covington, because I think that was a happy slap, and he done a little bit of, snitching himself. He had to get out of the country ASAP, but you didn't see Leon Edwards running to the police, because there's sort of like not like a code, but over here in England and Ireland, we really don't do that. And anybody that really does do that would just stay away from those people, because, nobody likes a snitch, nobody likes a rat, nobody likes a tout, a grass, and that's the way I see Colby Covington. And I think Colby Covington's stock has went way down since that. He hasn't been the same person, and he probably won't catch the same clout. The worst thing he could have done, I understand that it was a serious assault. There was like fractured bone in his head. There was teeth missing. There was things wrong with his eye and stuff. But look, whenever you're running your mouth, especially with a guy like Jorge Masvidal, that Colby Covington knows really well, because these two guys were friends, it's going to catch up with you. Now, the thing about it is, right? The really sad part is these two guys were friends. Do you know what I mean? So what can you do? So what we're going to do now, we're going to jump over to an article, and we're going to read this article to see the full facts of the whole thing. Right, guys. So Jorge Masvidal pleads guilty to misdemeanor battery but avoids jail time over Colby Covington assault. So I do believe that it's time served here. If anybody knows more information on how the legal things work in Florida, just let me know in the comment section. It'll be greatly appreciated. Jorge Masvidal finally got closure on his assault case involving former friend and opponent Colby Covington. On Monday, Masvidal pled guilty to misdemeanor battery as part of a plea deal, with prosecutors with 2 other felony charges being dropped after he attacked Covington outside a restaurant in Miami in March 2022. Masvidal was sentenced to time served, and he'll be responsible for paying court fees attached to the case, but he'll face no jail time in the case. Money talks, people. Money talks. Masvidal addressed the plea deal in a post on Instagram after leaving the courthouse. F you, Kobe, Masvidal said. It's going to be an effing movie now. All these orders, all these restraining orders being lifted off. It's going to be a effing movie. So it's serious talk from Masvidal, but he's definitely sent the shivers up Covington. Covington will not like this. I don't know if we can actually watch this here. Maybe we can.
Just beat the case. I want to thank God. I also want to thank this man right here because I'm a free fucking man. Fuck you, Kobe. It's going to be a fucking movie now. All these orders, all these restraining orders, all these things been lifted off. It's going to be a fucking movie. Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome, man.
You run into trouble. This is the dude right here, huh? I'm telling you. Undefeated in this fucking courtroom.
Got Better Call Saul there. The plea deal brings the long-running saga to an end after Masvidal lost in his fight against Covington back at UFC 272, but that didn't end their rivalry. A few weeks later, Masvidal attacked Covington outside a steakhouse in Miami, with a former interim welterweight champion suffering injuries, including a broken tooth as well as concussion. Covington identified Masvidal as his attacker and said that he was punched twice during the assault. At the time when the incident happened, Masvidal proclaimed his innocence. Masvidal was later arrested and faced multiple felony charges, including aggravated battery and criminal mischief. If he was convicted on all charges, Masvidal faced up to 15 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. With Masvidal reaching an agreement to plead guilty on misdemeanor battery charge, the situation involving Covington will now come to an end. Right, guys, so there you go. There you have it. You know, it's been a while since I read up on the case. I forgot that Covington actually had to point out that it was Masvidal that done that to him. For me personally, I'm not condoning violence because it wasn't in the ring. These two guys could have went into the ring, went into the octagon, could have went to a gym and had a fight. But realistically, Covington gives it the big one. Look at me with his chest puffed out. I'm going to do this. MAGA suits. But then after somebody comes to put it on him, after what he said about his wife, his kids, he goes squealing to the police. For me personally, that's the end of Colby Covington. Masvidal's stock will probably rise now, no matter where he goes, no matter what promotion. I know he's got that bare knuckle boxing promotion, Game Bread, which is fantastic. Is it bare knuckle boxing or just boxing? No, I think it's both. I think it's like a hybrid. It does multiple different combat sports. But man, what a rat move from Covington, because you know, if those charges had went through and there wasn't a plea deal, he was getting 15 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. That's nasty, man. It doesn't matter, right? If it's a friend on friend and something happens, you don't do that. I think if Covington had just took the beating and said, look, that's it over and done with now, I think that would be it. And he would have respect for that. Like a lot of the UFC fans would respect that. But man, he's lost that respect now. You know, it's not like he's a normal dude. We're not talking about me here, like a guy who I can fight, but not at that level. It's like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. You go to the police. I maybe go to the police if it's just a random attack from a random person because we're law-abiding citizens. Well, some of us. But when it's Colby Covington, who's talking all that shit on Jorge Masvidal, and then Masvidal comes and cashes that check, and that's it. He goes squealing to the police. So that's who Colby Covington is, a squealer, and that's it. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Share, guys, if you can do that for me. Share, copy, link the clipboard, make a little social media post, send to your friend on Facebook or WhatsApp Messenger. And yeah, liking, subscribing, do all that shit. Really, really helps me out. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.